It's the Nuggets and the Clippers. This is a weird one.
It is a weird one.
Is all I can say. I kind of don't really know what to make of it. I think the coach firing is where I'm going to start because I think it shocked all of us. We haven't really had an in-depth discussion about it on the show. I'm of the camp that was very dumb, and I'm not really sure what happened. Like power struggle. Maybe somebody can fill in the gaps for me here. Maybe I'm not up to speed enough on it because my head's still sort of in whiplash. The Nuggets firing their coach. It's a winning team. You have the best player in the world on your team. I'm confused. I don't really know why. I'm not sure what happened, and I think it does. I'm of the camp that it does do damage to their chances to really advance. Also, I am no stranger to what Jokic can do on the floor. I do think he's the best player in the NBA. I do think he should have won the MVP. If you really look at it, the impact that he has on his team is not even close to being replicated. Like the Nuggets become a bottom five team when he leaves the floor, essentially by the numbers. So, you know, I don't know. It's hard for me to really assess it because I think the impact he has on the game is impossible to really measure, or you can't measure it. It's all the impact. Just give him all the impact, and then it's whatever 100% is. So then you look at the rest of this team, and you're like, I don't really know what to make of it. I think they're pretty beatable, especially if they're facing a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard and company. So. Can someone fill in the gaps for me about this series because it's difficult for me to speak from an educated place on it because I'm not sure what either of these teams really look like. One side depending on health, and if it's like the last 25 games of the season, great. Other side depending on I just don't know what this team is, and that I've never seen an I don't know what this team is team win a championship. Have you? Let's start with Bob.
Um, so with the Nuggets, it's I'm with you. It's probably the most shocking firing I can remember in the last 10, 20 years, especially the timing of it. When you have one of the best players in the world and you're in the middle of a championship run, and this guy has been your coach from the beginning of it. It's not like he came in halfway or anything like that. Like this has been your guy from the beginning of this run, and you fire him with what was it, 8 games left in the season? It was absolutely the most shocking move I've heard of, especially not to just ride it out until the end of the year. Like, was it really that bad in there? As far
Yeah,
as the
but like,
Clippers,
what's the upside? You know?
right? Exactly. There's no upside to it. As far as the Clippers go, this is going to rely on Kawhi Leonard. James Harden definitely needs to exercise his playoff demons 100%. Like that needs to happen for the Clippers to make a deep run in the playoffs. But Kawhi Leonard, the last month of the season, almost looked like old San Antonio Kawhi Leonard. The way he was playing defense, the way he's ripping up an
Honestly,
offense, like he really looked like old San Antonio
Yep.
Kawhi again. And if that's the
he
Kawhi
was
you
Yep.
he
get,
was at one
there's
point.
no
Yeah,
I'm with you, Bobby. I'm with you
yeah,
when you're right.
I agree.
Yep. Yeah.
I think it's a really good point.
this team is maybe the second best team in the West if Kawhi is that, because they have Norm Powell too. Like they have depth.
I'm
With
preach. Keep talking. Preach.
with the Clippers, it really comes down to Harden and Kawhi, and if those two go off, man, it's gonna be a deep run for the Clippers, in my opinion.
Man, I agree wholeheartedly. The Kawhi Leonard of it all. When he won a championship in Toronto, I don't think there was any reasonable person saying that he wasn't the best player in the NBA coming out of that championship. Like he really just was that dude. He had like all the regular season numbers. He had the impact on the team numbers. He had playoff performances. He had giant highlights. He was everywhere. And we forget, I think, because of what happened, like after that, because it was essentially like he moved to LA. He was never really right again. He had this enormous, enormous contract that was well deserved. Like I think he earned it. But you also sort of missed him because he was a great best player. He was a really fun bet, like top three guy in the NBA because he was so good at rebounding, so good at defending, so good at hustle play. Like, well, it was so good at big clutch moments that you have to think if your theory is correct and he's back, that's like the fucking return of the boogeyman. You know what I mean? Like we got to watch out. Everybody's on notice if that dude's back. Like I'm not kidding at all. Like it might sound like I'm being hyperbolic, but if it's like Kawhi, the guy we were waiting for to turn up and play with Paul George, and we were waiting for Paul George to turn up and play with Kawhi, and that just never happened. I mean, I'd be fucking terrified seeing Kawhi, real life return to the Predator. I would be terrified if we saw him in the Western Conference just because of who he is, and also what we've looked like when we've played him in his brief spurts of being good over the past couple of years. Like anytime we've gone, well, I guess I should say come here because I live in LA, but anytime that Boston has gone to LA, we can't really seem to do anything against him when he's like playing at his best, which is admittedly only happened like twice over the last like 5 years, but here we are, right? Ray, talk to me. Talk to me, Goose. Is he back? I'm scared.
Well, listen, Mav. No, Bobby was preaching. Like I don't even have much to add. Like Kawhi Leonard has looked, he's looked amazing. The last month or some change. And once again, them boys was hooping. Like I think the other night when they had the game the other night against I think it was against Golden State. To see what he was doing and then Harden did what he's usually done, especially in the regular season, which will close him out. Now, Harden to me, as good as he is, I have him in the same category as Jimmy. Well, no, Jimmy shows up more in the playoffs than Harden does, but like they got some more stuff to prove. So it's just like that's where I see him. But if those two can be anything of what they're usually are in the regular season, like it should be lights out for Denver. Like you said, David Adelman is in a really, really hard position. Once again, I'm sure that he's a really good coach, but it's not going to be on display in the series. Ty Lue is probably going to coach circles around him. Another guy that we haven't spoke about is Ivica Zubac. James Harden has gotten that man paid. Period.
He's got best pick and roll in the game this year.
Yeah, like it's literally modern day Stockton Malone. Like that's literally
it's how good to watch, yeah.
It's unbelievable, and he's got it. So he should thank James Harden for his next payday because it is unbelievable what he's been able to do for his career, and he's having a career year.
Is Zubac going to make All NBA
down there? But
you think is he going to make All NBA?
I don't know if he makes All NBA. He should make All Defense. He should make All Defense team.
I was going to say, I think he'll be at the All-Star. Yeah, I think he'll be probably in the all-defensive team.
Yeah, so he deserves that. But like you said, from the Norm Powells to the, they got guys that can go get it, and you got a good defender in Derrick Jones Jr., who they got over from Dallas last year. So I think that once again they have enough pieces there. Once again, obviously health permitting, but like I said, if you're getting this level of Kawhi and he's motivated, they're getting past Denver in this first round for sure. Absolutely, without question.
Man. That's very sure. Mike, do you have a dissenting opinion on this? Do you have faith in the best player on earth?
Yeah, I mean, listen, if this is Kawhi of 2019, and like you all mentioned, like back in San Antonio, and he can stay healthy, then this series is a wrap. And I think that the West may very well run through LA on the Clippers side. I also just want to point out, like this team's 18-3 in the last 21 games. Like that's how they finished off the season. So they hit a fucking stride, and it should also be noted that a guy that was in the Boston Celtics organization last year is now their lead defensive coach, Jeff Van Gundy.
Yeah.
And this team got remarkably better on defense year over year under his tutelage.
Yep.
So you couple the fact that Kawhi is back and he looks like he did before, I would say 2020. And whatever was going on in Denver, this is a perfect storm. Like this should be. And I don't want to jump the gun here, DK, but like this should be like an easy series for the Clippers to win.
Why don't you just give me your prediction right now?
Clippers in 5.
Bob,
Clippers in 7.
Ray,
So every series is going 7.
Dude, in the West, the West is crazy this year. The West is. I've never seen a conference like the West was this year.
Yeah, I mean, talk about parity. There's actually we're mad about the parity of the different regions, but like in the West, there actually is some.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going Clippers to 6. Once again, Jokic is going to get you 2 games just off his skill. He's going to get you 2 games, but I think that certain adjustments that Ty Lue would make, David Adelman just won't have enough in his repertoire to make stuff on the fly. Like I said, Denver will get 2 because Jokic and Murray probably would get hot for a game or 2 because they're that good, but I think that once again, if you're getting what we've been getting from LA, once again, they've been playing playoff basketball since March. And I think that it comes to a head in this series, and they advance. So yeah, Clippers in 6.
I just want to say that if at any point in time during the season, during this series, that Kawhi goes down, it's now my pick is now Nuggets in 7. I just want that on the record.
All right, yeah. Well,
That is
with an obvious
valid.
asterisk. We're talking everybody healthy. Yes, of course. I will also take the Clippers. I'll take the Clippers in 6. I agree with Ray's logic. I think Jokic will have 2 monster games, but then overall the better team wins. It's actually weird how many teams we've been picking. The old adage of like just pick the best player in the series. Like I would still, even with a fully healthy Kawhi Leonard, I would still pick the Nuggets if I was picking with that logic. But honestly, at the end of the day, like I just think the dysfunction, like what Mike said at the end there, the dysfunction is the sort of thing that tips me over the edge. So I'm with you guys. It's our first unanimous pick is the LA Clippers. So that obviously means the Nuggets are going to win.